Everything leaked. Everything leaked. That was so cold. As you can tell, things are going well ahead of the Apple event. So if you're excited for this video, then drop a like down below and hit that subscribe. I'm not even putting the graphics up. Hit that subscribe button so that you can turn on the bell and I can buy new clothes so that I can dress myself. All right, let's jump into the video. Let's start off with the light spoilers here, if we can sort of rank them. Let's start off with the fun stuff, the stuff that isn't just a first look at the major thing. So let's start off with this first one from Mark Gurman, that apparently Apple has been extensively testing the M2 processor. The M2 processor, as Gurman has shared before, is going to be a slightly upgraded version of the M1 with 8 CPU cores still that might be clocked slightly faster, but with a 9 or 10 core GPU. So a slightly better graphics processor is going to be in here. Well, apparently a developer reached out to Gurman and was like, hey, I'm seeing this 8-core CPU, 10-core GPU chip being tested somehow across multiple Mac devices and then also multiple operating systems, including macOS 13, which is the big update. Basically, Gurman seems to be alluding to the fact that this is coming right around the corner, either at this event or when more Macs are said to be coming sometime in the May-June timeframe, but is also kind of pointing to, well, it could be tomorrow. We might see an M2 Mac tomorrow. And that is something we've heard from other sources like Digitime, so it's not totally unprecedented. I'm just still not convinced that with this event called Peak Performance that we're gonna see a low-end Mac. And we'll get into why a little bit later in the video. But Gurman wasn't done there. He comes back and just straight up says the big piece of news, which is that not only has Apple been working on an external display, something that he told us months ago, but that it's been ready for months. This is kind of major news that we've been waiting on this display, that Apple's having an event in one day and that the display is apparently ready to go. Okay, now things are starting to get quite a bit more exciting, aren't they? Not convinced hearing it from Mark Gurman? Well, Guomenshi conveniently tweets out again. This man is just absolutely on fire lately. The whole lineup of Apple Mac desktops and displays and when they're coming. Guo's like, yeah, 100% in 2022, we're getting this new Apple 27-inch external monitor that is also not going to be mini LED, so it'll be slightly more lower end than the Pro Display XDR. And it's actually in 2023, unfortunately, when we are going to be getting the new Mac Pro and iMac Pro. So good and bad news here. The good news obviously being that holy are we about to get this new Mac Mini and display at this event? Because that was kind of up in the air, and then it's kind of sad that we have to apparently wait a while for the Mac Pro and the iMac Pro. But let's focus on this other thing. Let's focus on this display. Gurman suddenly seems to be like, oh, this display's coming, and we're hearing about this new Mac Mini. And it was one of those things where I was like, I feel like there's something more to the story. Well, if you go back to last week, 9to5Mac out of the blue shared these two major exclusives. That not only was Apple working on an all-new computer called the Mac Studio that was unlike anything we've seen from them, and an all-new design, and it's gonna have crazy processors inside, including one more powerful than M1 Max. But Apple was also making a monitor that they could sell alongside it called the Apple Studio Display. I mean, reading this, I was so psyched because this is like what the Mac has needed. It was so stagnant for so long, and now we're seeing with Apple Silicon, they're gonna do all kinds of crazy stuff. But of course, the one question, as with everything, is when was this actually gonna come? Yeah, it leaked just days before the Apple World Trade event, but considering that all of the top tier sources kept saying, no, this is not gonna be a big deal. It's just iPhone SE, iPad Air, and maybe a new Mac Mini. Something small, low-key, nothing wild. I was like, aw, this is an exciting rumor, but, we'll have to wait quite some time until we get like a real, seriously exciting Apple event. That is until my friend Luke Miani texted me the other day. So I'm just sitting here at my desk vibing out when he's like, yo, I gotta show you something. And I was like, oh, okay, what are you gonna show me? The new Mac Studio and Mac Studio Display? Oh, let's see what he said. Holy sh**. That's the new Mac Studio and Mac Studio Display. Oh my God. So here you go. This is your first look at Apple's Mac Studio and Mac Studio Display. Shout out to Luke for this, who's working with Apple Track, my own site, to share it, and Ian Zelbo for the absolutely incredible renders on this thing. I mean, where do we even start with this, right? Like, this is what we've been waiting for. This is the promise of Apple Silicon. Completely custom new Mac architecture filled up with Apple Silicon, custom from end to end. It's just insane. let's start with the design. As previous rumors had suggested, the Mac Studio is like multiple Mac Minis stacked on top of each other, and it's like 7 by 7 inches square, I think, and a few inches tall, so it's got this really unique design that we've never seen before. I mean, looking around this thing, the corners around it, like the MacBook Pro, there's aluminum everywhere, and then there's going to be a white or light plexiglass top. It is just absolutely stunning, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this. And that's the thing, because if Apple would just be releasing this, everybody would lose their minds, but there would still be one thing missing, right? Yes, we have the Mac Studio here. Yes, it's going to be crazy cool, and it's going to look great on your desk, but how do you actually look at stuff on it? So Apple's doing that, and they're making the Mac Studio display. This is the all-new monitor coming from Apple, and it is just stunning here. It's going to have a screen of around 27 inches diagonally, so pretty comparable to the current 27-inch iMac, and it is going to look stunning with bezels that are pretty thin. I mean, they're a little bit thicker than the Pro Display XDR, but still way better than the existing 27-inch iMac Apple sells that's the same size. And of course, because it was designed alongside the Mac Studio, it's color matched and it looks just right. I mean, looking at this display, this is what people have been asking for, and we think it's going to be a mid-range offering. And when I say that, this is my guess, but I don't see this being like a $500 monitor. I also don't see this being a $6,000 monitor. I think it's gonna be somewhere in the middle. I don't know pricing. Apple will tell us that at March 8th because that's when this stuff is coming, which is probably the most exciting thing. This isn't just something that we get to see now, guys. In 24 hours, Apple is announcing this. But we also have a couple of other tidbits here that Apple is gonna be releasing a new iPad Air in purple, very similar to the same color of the iPad mini, because a new iPad Air is absolutely coming at this event as well. And there's also gonna be a new color of the iPhone 13. Just like we got purple on the standard iPhone 12s last year, Apple is bringing a dark green to the iPhone 13 lineup. So this is not the Pros, but the standard iPhone 13s. And it's kind of going to be in between the mint of the iPhone 12, which was super bright, and the dark and subdued midnight green of the iPhone 11 Pro. Think like right in the middle of those. So with all this being said, what are your thoughts? Are you going to get the Mac Studio? Can you believe the new display is coming this soon? Are you going to buy the new iPhone 13 or iPad Air? I mean, this is going to be a pretty packed event, and this is what we know. There could be more. All right, Apple could surprise us with something else entirely new. Peak performance, peak screen performance, the new Mac Studio. I think it was right there in front of us, like peak, look, screen. You look at a screen. It was right there the entire time, and we all missed it. I'm so ecstatic. Off the charts hype for this event. So I will see you guys in 24 hours. We have so many good coverage is coming, videos. I gotta go. I'm just so happy. We're getting it back. That's cool, and a new display. I'll see you guys at the Apple event. Bye-bye.